Yeah, I mean, we're ready to go. Hay's almost in the barn. We're going to finish it out, some good preparation, and we'll see where it gets us.
Can you update Breon Murray's status? He was arrested last week. Any disciplinary issue or coming forward with him? Will he be available for the opener?
Yeah, so Breon's been suspended for the opener. You know, unfortunately dealing with some traffic violations where he didn't handle his business. And it's going to cost him an opportunity in the first game, and we're obviously disappointed.
Is that something you will set up as part of your operation to make sure you look, college kids, in particular football kids, don't get their license renewed, still driving? Is that something that you have to put on your people
Absolutely.
to sort of have that kind of avoid those things?
Yeah, it's just one more thing that we want to help, provide some resource for our guys, right? Some guidance in how to handle their business and not leaving loose ends out there and making sure things are taken care of. And, it's a lesson for the whole team.
With running back, Jalen Holston, is he 100% for the opener? Do you feel like he's kind of ready to go to kind of carry the load for you?
I tell you, he looked pretty good yesterday. And, he's out there today, and he feels good. He's very confident. He wants to play. That's going to be a game day decision, but it's trending in the right direction right now.
And if the fourth guy is that Bryce Duke, because I think
Yes,
Benji's been working with the scout team, so he'd be the next guy.
Yes, sir. Bryce is fourth on the depth chart right now.
How many true freshmen do you think you're traveling in this first one?
I don't know that number. All three of those corners are traveling, Mansour, Cam, and Devin. And we're traveling, both the young ends, Burgos and Moiston. We're traveling the younger Moore brother, traveling Caden Wallace, Xavier Chaplin. There's going to be quite a few freshmen on the trip. So,
how do you treat building a travel roster? Are you a pretty tight group on the road? Will you use the max of what you're allowed to
yeah, we use the max. You want the depth, right? You want to take the guys that you need to take. I try and leave a couple of spots for Coach Holt and special teams, guys that may not be factoring in offense or defense, but he could use them. And then at the same time, you always like a spot or two for a guy that needs the experience to travel, right? He's not factoring in right now, but he will. And getting him that experience is valuable.
What do you do with the quarterbacks where Farrell and Bullock were pretty close? Farrell's number 3. Will you travel both those guys?
Both those guys are traveling. Okay. Yes, sir.
You've been kind of talking about defensive back depth throughout the offseason. So without Breon, and then with Nickel and Harvey, kind of the next backup, kind of how does that work out? And is there concerns there to try to balance everything and kind of make that right?
Yeah, it didn't really affect Nickel a whole lot. We've kind of been working Chamari there, and DJ's gotten a lot of reps there, but it's just putting a little bit more pressure on the starters. I mean, to be honest, Armani had kind of been trending to taking the job, and he and Dorian, it puts added pressure on them, and you got Elijah and DJ in a backup role right now, and we're taking all three of those freshmen, and right now, we're prepared to put Mansour in the game if necessary. It would not surprise me to see him out there in this ballgame.
We didn't get to ask you, obviously you weren't here, but the 2018 game, is that something you've talked to the guys that were here about, that like what happened? And that's something you bring up where, they were such heavy favorites, or is it just, is the past, and you kind of don't look at it? Like,
I haven't talked about it with them. I know they've talked about it as players, but I'm not going to bring it up. They know it's out there.
I was going to say, what are your emotions right now going into your first game as the head coach of Virginia Tech? I know it's always kind of been a dream of yours to be in this position.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe when we trot it out there, I'll feel it. But right now, it was about having a great Thursday and having a great Friday and planning the trip and the meeting space and what we need to get done to get to kickoff. So like I told the players and the staff, I said all the time, you got to just take a minute when you get out there, and kind of soak it up. And, I've been doing that for years. It was the Rose Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Big Ten Championship. Just kind of take a second. Because once you put the headset on and we kick off, it's a 100-yard field, and everybody's kind of doing their thing. So, but, I'm sure I'll be smiling about it.
Sean, we talked to Sean earlier. I guess in his first game, he had to, in regulation, touchdown that would have tied it, instead went for 2.
Who you talking about?
Sean Quinn,
Oh.
as a head coach, his first head coach game as a head coach, went for 2 to win it. Is that something you can envision doing, or do you feel like you're going to be a risk taker or risk adverse, or it just depends on the situation?
We're going to take some risk. We're going to be aggressive. I don't consider it a risk. I want to be aggressive. The team knows that. That's the mindset I want us all to have going into this thing. Tyler Bowen, Chris Marv, Holt, the players. I mean, I want to be aggressive. You can't have it both ways. We're going to be an aggressive bunch.
So you could envision going for 2.
Absolutely.
Two more, guys.
So you got one of your buddies across the line from you this week. Have you had any communication with Ricky?
Nope, nothing. No, I'm looking forward to seeing him pregame. Shaking his hand and kind of. I'm sure we'll both have big smiles. It's kind of cool.
If from the beginning of fall camp to where you guys are right now, is this kind of where you envisioned you guys would be?
Yeah, I think so. I'm still concerned about our depth in a couple of areas. Just, we got to keep developing guys the whole way through. You get an injury at the wrong place or you're not ready for it, and, it can affect a game. But, hopefully we stay healthy and get a chance to keep developing guys where our depth can improve.